Hi guys, my name is John and I'm a lover of luxury and I'm a lover of YouTube. My channel's name is CC Guy, CHI, and I am a Chicago-based personal shopper that works in women's luxury ready-to-wear. I noticed one of the videos in the comments that you guys have been asking for after my Chanel jacket collection was to do a video where I try all of them on and show you. So I threw everything together on a rolling rack and figured that would be what we would do today. So another question you guys constantly ask is about sizing. So the biggest thing to know with Chanel is that there's two different schools of thought in terms of sizing. So when it comes to vintage Chanel typically was cut a little bit larger, so you could get away with other sizes and going down a bit. So typically in vintage, I'm anywhere from a 42 to a 46. It just kind of depends on the collection. I do have the oddball piece or two, like a jacket from the first collection that Chanel did that was a 38 and it fits because Carl was playing with proportions. So that one definitely fits. So typically when it comes to more recent Chanel, so I'm talking like late 90s to current, I'm typically starting at like a 44, a French 44, and I'll go up to a 50. It just kind of depends on the season, how things are cut. So we're set up a little bit differently in my closet today because I wanted to see if there was a way that I could set things up so you guys could kind of see everything. So I figured without further ado, we can get started. Last thing I'll say is if you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to subscribe. I'm so thankful that we hit 1,000 subscribers. Like literally, that's crazy to me. I'm so thankful for all of you who watch and comment. I love talking with you guys, and I hope we can continue to grow this because obviously there are people here who want to see content. And after like my next 2 or 3 videos, we're gonna stop talking about my collection personally, and we're gonna start talking about fashion. We're gonna talk about trends. We're gonna talk about buying vintage. We're gonna talk about buying current pieces, buying things on the secondhand market, the pre-loved market. So there's a lot more to come and a lot more cool stuff to come. So one of the other questions I get all the time is how do you style a Chanel jacket if you don't have one? So I threw on the easiest thing I could throw on with the Chanel jacket today, which is just a simple white V-neck t-shirt. I like the ones from Polo Ralph Lauren. They fit me really well. I've been buying them for years. And a simple pair of jeans. I also have on a Chanel belt. And some of these jackets aren't going to be the best looking with what I'm wearing right now because these jeans are more of a mid versus a high rise. So typically, depending on how the jacket is cut, I'll adjust the trouser. But in terms of styling, the easiest thing that I love to do is keep everything super simple. And then I'll throw the jacket on for like the fun pop in my outfit. So what I'm wearing right now is representative of what I wear a lot of the time. You know, sometimes it'll be a different color, sometimes it could be a solid, sometimes I could do like a stripe, but it's generally pretty easy because I want the jacket to do the talking for me. So the first piece I'm going to talk to you about is actually my most recent, so what I'm currently wearing. This is a vintage double-breasted linen blazer. This is from the late 80s, and it is a little small when I button it. Oh, thank you, COVID. So normally with this guy, I've worn it once to work. I would be wearing higher waisted pants, so that way the peplum in the back looks proportionally a little bit better. But I definitely wore it with a t-shirt, so it's super simple. The coolest thing about this guy, besides the red color and the linen, are these guys, the cuffs. So the cuffs, if you can see, are actually in a cotton piqué, and it also matches the collar. But what I love about this is all of this is on a set of snaps. So all I have to do is literally remove the snaps, and then I have a completely different look. So this piece I love. I just picked this up last week. So this is a new edition. So we've magically grown from 33 when I made the video a couple weeks ago to 36. Whoops. Okay, so get comfy. You're gonna need a drink because we're gonna be here for a minute. But anyway, so this is the front, this is the back. This guy is a French 44. And this is a vintage 44. Another good thing to know about Chanel too, particularly when it comes to vintage, is part of the reason their jackets were so expensive outside of the fabric and the construction is the additional fabric that's left inside of the seams. So with all vintage Chanel, there is 2 inches of seam allowance in every single seam. So if you end up buying let's say a vintage 40, in theory, if it hasn't been altered yet, you're going to be able to actually take it to a seamstress who knows what they're doing, and you have a 42. So that's another thing I really like about vintage. Next piece is also a recent acquisition. This is a tweed vest. This is from 2001 from the spring collection. If you see, it's got a multicolored tweed based in nude, and then we have orange, we have pink, and we have blue. This guy zips, doesn't zip on me right now, thank you COVID, and it has these really cool little gold CC buttons, and then it demi-poplums in the back. So this is my first Chanel vest. Knowing me, probably won't be the last one either, because I really like how easy this is. I also like styling this guy with just like a white Oxford shirt. Super simple, super easy. I was gonna wear one, but then with the short sleeve jackets, it looked kind of weird. So I was like, I'll just stick to a t-shirt. Next one is from 1997 spring collection. This is a French 44, longer white wool. I love this, double-breasted, and here she is, once I button it correctly. So this guy I love. I typically like early 90s, late 80s Chanel, but the second I saw this, I knew I had to have it. It's a little tight right now because of COVID, but 9 times out of 10, I just wear it open. So I love the gold buttons. The 4 pocket is reinterpreted in a really cool way. And this is the button, if you want to see it, says Chanel Paris on it. And then this is the back of the jacket. I love longer jackets. I like shorter jackets. It's just always kind of fun to play around. And it's also silk lined, which is fabulous too. This guy was picked up from Leslie Heinman Auctioneers here in Chicago for a luxury auction. This guy was picked up, believe it or not, on eBay, and same goes with this guy too. Next piece in my collection is another white jacket. This is from the what collection number 28. So this was the scuba collection from Chanel. It's missing the buttons, but I actually kind of dig it without the buttons. It's in a really cool cotton piqué, which is the same trim that they used for this, albeit in a different texture. And that's a jacket. So it's navy trimmed in grosgrain, and then it's white. It's got a 4-pocket design, sleeve, and then this is the back of it. Love this guy for spring, love this guy for summer. Super simple. Again, works perfectly with navy and white and just a pair of denim, which is like truthfully my kind of go-to outfit. Next one is an ivory. This guy is an older piece of Chanel, and you can tell that it's vintage because of the buttons. So from Carl's first collections, there were wheat buttons, and the wheat buttons are indicative of the first couple seasons. The other cool thing with the wheat button details, actually for the Metier collection this year, Virginie brought the wheat buttons back. So it's a really cool way to kind of harken back to that. So this is the blazer. It's got a really cool kind of like smoking club, like smoking jacket, you know, Rat Pack kind of look to it from the 80s. And it is in ivory. It's trimmed in navy, and then it has the wheat buttons. And then this is the back. It has these really cool 2 little flaps that are also secured with buttons as well too. This guy, when I purchased it, also came with the matching skirt. So I do have the suit. I don't really do anything with the skirt, but eventually when I end up donating things to museums, it's nice to have full pieces just versus blazers. And this guy, I believe, was purchased on eBay, maybe. Next one is a cotton piece. This is also from collection number 8 for Chanel. This was purchased at Luxury Garage Sale in Chicago. That one I know for sure. Double-breasted design. It's in a cotton and silk blend. And if I can get my act together and button it, you can see what it looks like. So I love I need to reattach that button. I love the neckline. That's what I think is so cool about it. I love this kind of rounded neck. This was obviously originally sold as a suit, so there's a matching skirt that went with it. It's got a shorter sleeve, and I liked the red because I felt like it was a good way to kind of push myself a little bit, and it's a good red for me. So this is how I wear it 9 times out of 10. It's just open. And the other thing that I love are the buttons. They are actually bottles of number 5 with little CCs in the middle. So this is the front of the jacket. There's also the button there. And then this is the back. So I saw this jacket, bought it from Luxury Garage Sale, fell in love with it, wore it, and after much convincing on my own kind of personal thought there, and ended up seeing this guy online and had to buy this. So that way I had another red jacket. So this is also from the same collection, collection number 8. And this guy has a shawl collar and is also double-breasted. So this guy is in a cotton silk blend. Same situation, same year, same collection from the one I just showed you. Also features the number 5 buttons, and this is like actually how I wear it all the time. Super simple, super easy, light. It's lined in silk, and then this is the back of the jacket. So it was fun to get one red jacket and one became 3, so there you go, which is also indicative of pretty much everything in my life. And this guy is a vintage size 42. Some of them I didn't give you sizes on just because purely the size tag is one of the first things with the vintage that people would take out. I'm sure it like irritated the back of their neck or something, so that's why they took it out. Next piece is a jacket that also functions, it's like really more of a lightweight coat. I can't remember if I showed this one in my collection video or not. This is from Cruise 2001, which is ironically a collection I have a lot of pieces from. And this is a silk wool blend. This is a size 48. So I bought the 48 because, again, with more contemporary collections, I was like, okay, it's gonna run a little bigger, blah, blah, blah. Apparently I have left a USB in the cable, or USB in the pocket, which is very me. Oversized swing shape. For a long time, I was really hesitant with this color. I bought this just because it was a really good deal. I want to say I got it on eBay. And I loved it, but I was like, the color's a little wild. But now that we're seeing a lot of pastels, it's definitely something that I've broken out more. So it has a full-length sleeve with a little cuff. The buttons are just say Chanel Paris on them. They're super simple. So this is the front, and this is the back. I included this one in the jackets just because I have actually worn it as a jacket. I do, if you've seen the video already, I do have Chanel outerwear, and maybe one day I'll do like a try-on haul with my or not haul, but just a try-on with my outerwear. The next piece is from spring 1993. This one is unique because it does not have a closure. It's just fully open. So this guy's super simple, open. It's in a really pretty fluid viscose and wool blend. It has these really fun little cuffs with these cool CC buttons on them. Cuffs are removable, just like the first jacket, my most recent one. So just sits, it's super easy. Again, that's why I just wear it with a t-shirt. It's like, why fight it if you don't have to? You know what I mean? And the coolest part about this one is the back. I hope you can see it. It's got these really cool, pretty box pleats in the back. But it's just kind of one of those throw it on, it moves with you, super casual kind of pieces. And this guy is in a vintage 42. So again, now that I have built a collection and am continuing to build, when I'm looking for vintage pieces, I know anything from a 42 to a 46 is for sure gonna work. 42 pending alterations, obviously. So that's kind of, now that I know my sizing, it makes it a lot easier. The other big tip I would give you is know your measurements. Know your shoulder to shoulder, know your bust measurement, know ideally what a good length sleeve is for you, and also from your shoulder down to your waist, what a good length is for you as well too. When you know all those measurements, if they're things like this guy, which doesn't have a size on it, then you can figure it out. This guy is a vintage navy, double-breasted, kind of sailor style. When I first got this, it was a lot larger, so I had my seamstress bring it in for me. I just buttoned it the wrong way, and I love this. It's one of my favorites. It's in a wool gabardine, and also, just kidding, guys, I definitely did it the wrong way that time. Killing the game. Listen to me about fashion advice, please, because I can button stuff. So wool gab double-breasted, super simple. Love the crazy amount of buttons on these. And the buttons, if you can see, actually all have Cocos on them. So they're all little Gabrielle Chanel's on them. 4-pocket design, double-breasted, buttons down the side. This is the front, and then this is the back. Love this. It's so great. I've had it for a couple years now. I want to say this was a Poshmark purchase. The other thing about this guy too, with the tag, it says it's a size 40. So again, knowing my measurements and finding out that this guy was definitely oversized for what a traditional French 40 was, and by French I mean Chanel 40, that's when I knew I could pull the trigger. And then when it came, it was a little bit bigger, which is great. Just had it altered. This is one of my favorite jackets. This is from 1999 spring collection. This is a 44. Purchased this at Luxury Garage Sale. This was the second Chanel jacket that I purchased. My first was black, just because it was there and I fell in love with it. And then I saw this one. It was a screaming deal. Bought it, and I've loved it ever since. So it's double-breasted. It's also a wool gabardine. It features these simple silver Chanel buttons that say Chanel across the middle. 2-pocket versus a 4. The shoulder's really beautiful. It's a wool gab. And the other fun thing I found out about this one is it has pockets. I found that out. It's actually funny, like probably almost a year into owning this jacket, and then I was like, oh my god, I love this already, but now it's amazing. So that's the front, and this is the back. So this is one of the babies I wear all the time. And to answer a question that hasn't been asked yet, but I'm sure will eventually, is it okay to leave double-breasted blazers open? The answer to me is absolutely yes. I think as long as your underpinning under what you're wearing is good and kind of fitted, you're totally fine. So a lot of these double-breasted ones, when my COVID situation in weight is back together, I will button them, it'll look cool, but also, like, truthfully, just leaving it open doesn't look that wild. So it really just, it's kind of however I'm feeling. If I need to move around a lot more because I'm like really active for work and like always waving at people, talking with my hands, then I'll leave it open, just because it's like, it gives me an ease of movement. Next piece is from 1999. This guy is a sweater coat. So very much in the vein of the green one I showed you earlier. This guy was purchased from Leslie Heinman Auctioneers here in Chicago. I got this the same time that I got the white one and another jacket, maybe another one, I don't remember. But I love this. It's a really cool knit, and as you can see, it is done in kind of like a yellow khaki and an off-white, and then it has this really cool relief. So this is all different textures, and then the buttons are these kind of see-through guys with the CC, and then there's a little bit of a multi-chrome effect to the buttons. So this I love. Usually I'll wear this over, so I'll have like a Chanel jacket, a shirt under, and then I'll throw this over. But also, like, this is a totally fine outfit for like a spring, early fall kind of situation. Capes out in the back, so it's a little oversized, but I mean, since everything's been getting more casual now anyway, just because of COVID, like, I'm fine with that. So that is this guy. The next one is another one that was purchased from Leslie Heinman, so I'm glad I was paying attention because I have more of those. This is from the 2003 spring collection. This guy is in cotton. I bought this year, and this could be one of my favorite jackets that I own. I love the colors. I love how neutral it is. The fit is incredible. I'm telling you, once you start buying Chanel jackets or Balmain or Dior or whoever you end up going to, you're kind of ruined for the rest of your life, because once you find a brand that fits you perfectly, then you're just like, oh, everything else I own doesn't feel like this, which is why, truthfully, I had a lot of other things before Chanel, and I started getting rid of them, because the second you have something that fits you properly on your back, nothing else matters, and that's all you want to feel. So this guy's in a really pretty cotton tweed. So you can see there's a whole bunch of colors in here that are all just plays on neutrals. And because this is an early 2000s piece, you can see the buttons are super simple. They just say Chanel Paris with a little like kind of top stitch detail. So it's double breasted, drop pockets in the front, And then this is the back. I love this one because it literally fits like a dream. And this guy is in a size 44. Again, with more recent Chanel, typically a 44 would make me nervous, but when I knew my measurements and I was able to compare them, I was like, oh, this is gonna fit great. So again, another PSA for you to remember to know your measurements. Next piece was also purchased from Leslie Hindman. This is from the 1997 Cruise collection. This guy is in a French 46. So, there you go. Double-breasted, and it's this really cool kind of gray, brown, off-white. Maybe subtract the brown, but definitely like gray and off-white together. Double-breasted, 4-pocket design, 1, 2, 3, 4. I just wear it open because it's easier that way and kind of reads a little less trench coaty. And then these are the buttons. So the buttons were done in the matching color, and then they have the gold CC on them. And then the pockets are super cool too. So if you see, it's actually like a little kind of a tab that's done over with this, and you can actually remove down so you can see the work, which is super cool. I love the kind of exaggerated lapel. It reminds me of a couple of vintage pieces I have in my wardrobe. So this is the front, and then this is the back. So that is a 46. So again, knowing my measurements helped me because this was a couple years ago and a couple years before the one I just tried on, which is a couple years later. So season to season, things are cut differently. So you just have to kind of pay attention. Next piece is also a more recent piece in my collection. Thank you to one of you for pointing out the exact season. This is from 1990. So this guy is missing the buttons. So this is going to be a restoration project for me, finding the buttons. Has a rounded collar, so I would actually normally wear it with a t-shirt that has like a more rounded collar on it. Short sleeve, it's trimmed in this really pretty textured black fabric. So it's like a really pretty weave with a gorgeous texture. It has a short sleeve, and then it actually has a slight poof to the sleeve, which is super cool. So this is my first short sleeve jacket that I got. I figured if I wanted to try something different, I'd want to stick to a decade that I know. So since I know 90s Chanel and I know how 90s Chanel fits me, that's what I wanted to do. So this is the front. And this is the back. It sits a little lower in the back, which is super cool. And this is probably one that I'll honestly take to my tailor and have my tailor let out the seams, just so that way it sits a little bit more open when I'm wearing it, because right now it's just a little tight. Obviously, I'm sure COVID doesn't help with that, but we'll figure it out. But I really love this. And this guy was purchased, I want to say, from Poshmark. Next jacket for me is a track jacket, which is funny because I'm not a super sporty person. This guy was purchased from Luxury Garage Sale here in Chicago. Bought this a couple years ago. It's in a really beautiful knit, and this is what it looks like on. So it's really cool because it has the 2 CCs, but the CCs are kind of broken up, and they create these really cool pockets. So it's in a black knit, and then it features a black and white trim knit. So this is the front, and then this is the back. This guy I just wear casually. So literally how I'm wearing today, like if it was chillier outside, I'd probably just throw this on to go do stuff I need to do today. I love the elasticated sleeve, so that way kind of, you can roll it and it stays where it's gonna stay. And this, believe it or not, is a size 40. So again, pays to know your measurements. The next one that I've got is one of 2 that I purchased from the same seller who actually used to work for Chanel in the 80s. And these are both done in silk. So silk knits are some of my favorite. This is the single-breasted version, and it has 2 buttons. I just need to get the other one put back on. It's here in the pocket somewhere. Actually, I just felt it right there. So this is in a raw silk, which I absolutely love. Weighs nothing, super lightweight, super simple. 4-pocket, drop pocket design with a slight lapel, and the buttons on this are so cool. It says Chanel Rue Cambon with just like a little logo on it with a crown. So this is the front of the jacket, and this is the back of the jacket. This guy is a vintage 44. And yeah, I just need to get the buttons sewn back on. So I got a lot of work to do over here apparently with these guys. Next one, which is number 2 from the same seller, is another jacket in raw silk. But the difference with this one is that this guy is double-breasted. So this guy down lower is in a double-breasted fabric, which is super cool. Has one pocket up on the side, so it's a little asymmetric, which I like. And this is also in silk, so it's super light. When I bought this one, she still had the skirt that matched it, so I took the skirt as well, so that way I could have a whole set. And this guy has little elephant buttons, which are super cool. So they're just little elephant buttons, and they say Chanel Paris Coco on the bottom. This is a size 44. I purchased both of these from the same seller on Poshmark. So these are Poshmark purchases. The next one that I have, actually the next two, the next one that I have is a purchase from New York City, from a Second Chance resale. This guy is from spring 2001, and this is probably one of my most worn jackets. I actually wore this on my interview to work for the company that I currently have. I had matching Chanel black pants, Chanel shoes, and a bag. So, whole fantasy. This guy is double-breasted. It's in a really beautiful wool, and it has black buttons that are in a metal. So it has a little pop, but it's not as crazy as some of the ones from the 80s and 90s that you've seen so far. So no buttons here. Double-breasted, has side slash pockets, just like my navy one, which was a super fun discovery. So you can see the buttons here, just a little kind of grid design with the CC in the middle, and then it has slight little darts all over that give it a really cool detail. And then when I turn to the back, you can see the whole back is done in exposed darting, which is super cool. So I love this one. I wear this one literally all the time. And like I said in a couple other videos, it's really funny because I used to not be super into Chanel from the early 2000s. Probably just because it's like when I was growing up and really started paying attention to fashion, so I wasn't really into it. I thought it was a little too loud, but now I kind of have to eat my words because a lot of my collection is from those early collections. And this guy is a size 50 and fits like a dream. So again, knowing your measurements helps. Now luckily I was there to try it on, so there you go. Next piece is very important to me. This is the first Chanel jacket that I ever bought. I bought this one from Luxury Garage Sale here in Chicago, and ironically, of course, my first piece had to be a fantasy tweed jacket from Chanel. So this is what it looks like when it's closed. It has a 3-pocket design, and it's in a really beautiful Lesage tweed, and everything is trimmed in chain. So this guy I absolutely love, and then it has just a little matte CC there. This is the front, and then this is the back. It's lined in silk, it's super light, it's super easy. I'm never getting rid of it. It's from the spring 2006 collection. And a funny story about this one is right after I got this, I was so excited because it was a really big moment for me to buy my first Chanel jacket. And I emailed my grandmother because she doesn't text, and I sent her a photo of me wearing this, and I got it probably 5 years ago, I would say. 5, maybe 6 years ago. And her response was like, "Oh, is that from 2006? I bought that in navy." And I was just like, you can never be a bridesmaid, can you? You always got to be the bride. So yeah, but this is this special baby that's in my collection. The first one that started this entire rack of insanity. So the next one is from the 2001 Cruise collection. So again, here I go having to eat my words, and this is in a size 46. So this guy's in a black and white tweed, which I love, and I love the concealed placket. It's really all just kind of about the simplicity of the line with this guy. And of course now none of the buttons want to stay while I'm doing them, so sorry this is taking longer than it normally should. So I'm just gonna button these top ones because the rest are being difficult at the moment, including this top one. Fun. So this is the fit longer style, which I love. It hits right above my knee. If I could find a way to show you that, I would, but short of like standing on a block, I'm not really sure what else to do at this moment. So this guy has side slash pockets, just like all my other ones from 2001, which I love. And then it has this really cool camellia. The camellia is actually done in a textured fabric. So sometimes if I'm bored at work and I'm wearing this, I'll just be like randomly sitting here touching this and people look at me like I'm a crazy person, because I am. So let me unbutton this real quick, and I can show you the back of it when it feels like working. So all the buttons on this one are concealed, which is cool. So again, it's just super simple. The buttons are very simple black, Chanel Paris, and then this is the back of the jacket. I love how the shoulder fits perfectly, and it's a very lightweight, comfortable tweed. So again, this is definitely, I've done it with an Oxford under it, but it's definitely much more one of those throw it on with a t-shirt, call it a day kind of things. So that's why I love her. So this again is from the 2001 Cruise collection. So next in my wardrobe is another piece that I bought in New York City. Certainly one of the most iconic pieces in my wardrobe, and I consider myself very lucky to have her. And this is from the 2005 Cruise collection. So this is the Devil Wears Prada jacket. So in the movie, Anne Hathaway actually wears a shorter version of this jacket, so it stops about here, but mine is the full length version. I love this jacket. I remember I was in New York and I went to New York Vintage, tried a couple things on, and then randomly walked into a kind of like antique mall literally across the street, and I walked into one of the first vendors and he had a bunch of Issey Miyake, a lot of Comme des Garçons, and they had a whole rail of Chanel. So as soon as I saw that, nothing else mattered for me usually, and I had a couple things on hold at New York Vintage, and I walked in, saw this on the rack, saw it was a 46, so I knew it was gonna work, put it on, looked in the mirror, and the guy was like, wow, that looks really nice on you. And I literally took my card out of my wallet and handed it to him. And I was like, I don't care how much this costs, I have to have this. So now she's here and she's been with me for quite a long time. So this guy is in a cruise tweed, so it's a lot lighter. And it's trimmed in a really beautiful Lesage tweed. And then it has the cocoa patch there with the camellia on the bottom. This is the front of the jacket, and this is the back of the jacket. I love this. I'll never get rid of this. I mean, I'm not going to get rid of any of these, but it's a very important piece, and I consider myself super lucky. There are a couple more from this collection that I would love to have, but prices are through the roof, so I have to kind of be judicious and decide what I really want. And that again is in a size 46. Next piece is vintage. This was purchased from Linda's Stuff on eBay, which is, oh wait, no, this was eBay. And this guy is a longer jacket. This was purchased from Linda's Stuff. Good place to go look at, by the way. I would definitely check her out. Linda's Stuff is her name. That's where this guy came from too. So this is a super simple, longer 4 pocket. You can see the pockets on this guy are concealed, which is super cool. Jacket, oversized, easy, comfy. I break this guy out more so in fall. Like I'll do like a chunky sweater and a pair of jeans with it. But I have been known to also just wear a tee and Oxford and kind of go to work with it. These are the buttons on this guy. They are a silver CC, and I like the slightly rounded detail here. So it just gives it a nice little flavor. This is the front single-breasted, and this is the back. It's a little longer, so it comes to about mid-thigh on me, which is nice. Next piece that I purchased was my first piece of Chanel leather. I own 2 leather jackets from Chanel, and yeah, 2. And then 2 that I wear, one that's in storage for archival reasons, and then this is it. So I purchased this guy from a vintage store in Chicago, and this is from the, I think it's 2001 again, which seems to, yep, Cruise 2001, and again, there we go. Here I am talking about how I don't like stuff from early 2000s, and it's like a majority of my wardrobe. So this guy's in a black lambskin. It feels like a dream on. It's a shirt style jacket, which I love. And this was actually a piece that like a man wore on the runway, which is super cool. So it's actually a men's piece. Chanel will do men's pieces, just very limited. It's every couple years they'll randomly send a man down the runway. They're starting to do more shoes, which is very exciting. So I'm hoping it's something they continue to do. Cool thing with this guy too, it is like a slight kind of A-line, not like super A, but it's definitely a little bit more oversized. So this guy I really don't close because then it just kind of swallows me, as you can see with me sitting here, standing here. So I'll wear it open, wear something more fitted under it. And then it has a little vent on the side, which is really great. And then the buttons on this guy are right there, Chanel Paris, again in line with the early 2000s aesthetic of Chanel. Has one drop pocket, and this is the back. So that is my first piece of Chanel leather, and this is in a size 40. Again, this is men's 40, which is usually I'm a 40, so that one definitely made sense. Next piece is a vintage leather jacket. This is in a size 42. So a vintage 42, and I just wore this a week ago to work. So super simple way to just boom, boom, took my whole outfit up. I'd wear a nude shoe with it, and it's done. So this guy is in leather, and it has the famous quilting. So it's basically like wearing a handbag, which is kind of the coolest thing. And then it has two very simple little small pockets here on the side with talon zippers. And then it has a slight peak on the shoulder, but nothing too crazy. So this is the front of the jacket, and this is the back. Next one that's coming up, I don't even remember. Oh, this one I believe was a Poshmark purchase. Next one is one of my most worn Chanel jackets. This guy I purchased secondhand at a vintage store in, I believe, Tennessee. And this is a super simple navy jacket. So when this was originally sold, because there's not a closure, there's just two button tabs here, there'd be a button closure that would go, it'd have two little buttons and a piece of chain. So I'm looking for it so I can kind of complete the whole look. But I love this jacket. It works with literally everything, and it's in a wool gab, so it's gabardine, so it's literally every single season. So this is the front, slight little peak there on the lapel. And then these are the buttons. So they have kind of a central CC and then almost like a star, like a sun kind of pattern that goes out. So this is the front and this is the back. So this is one of my faves. Woo! Little more than halfway done, guys. I promise we'll get to the end of it here soon. Next one is a vintage baby of mine that confused my fiance at first when I brought it home. And this is my purple Chanel jacket. So this is a really cool piece. This is from the 1988-1989 collection. I did buy the full suit, so I do have the matching skirt that goes with it. This was purchased at North Shore Exchange in the City, which is a non-profit consignment company based in Chicago. I love them. I love working with them. And by working with them, I mean really shopping and sending clients there to donate things or to consign things, because all of their profit that they make goes to charities in Chicago. So I just think it's a really cool message to get behind and support. This guy is in a purple tweed boucle, features zipper trim. The buttons are super cool. There's not a CC in sight, but it's all done in chain. It does say Chanel. And then it has the CC zipper pulls, which I love. So it's a 4-pocket design. It's a little heavier, so I'll break this out in fall, which is right around the corner. So she'll be there soon. So this is the front, and this is the back. Yeah, I remember when I brought this one home, my fiance was like, purple? Really? And I was like, I know, it kind of pushes me, but also like, I just need it. Which is usually my argument for everything. But I also was like, I need it because it's like important. It's an important piece to have for a museum one day. Of course, I mean, I'm wearing it, but you know, whatever. Next piece, this guy was purchased, I believe, from Poshmark. So this is a vintage jacket, obviously. It's in gray wool cashmere blend. It features 4 pockets, rounded shoulder, and yeah, I love it. It's oversized. I loved the gray. I really wanted a gray jacket. I'd like more gray jackets. I mean, I'd like more jackets in general, which is just shows how out of control I truthfully am. And features cocoa buttons. So there are little mini Gabrielles on the side, which is cool because Carl, before he passed away, brought the cocoa buttons back for the Hamburg collection. Obviously she's a little big, so I'm gonna take this into my tailor and have them fix it. But it's just kind of easy, oversized. I love this with, I have a pair of Brunello Cucinelli olive colored joggers, or like cargo pants. And I feel like that with just like a simple shoe is super cool. So I've worn this a couple times, and I will take this guy in to have it fixed and brought in, and this is a size 44. So obviously I knew from the jump that she was gonna fit. So the next one is another one of my long babies. And this guy is a vintage 42. I purchased this from an estate, and the family, was super happy to know that I was a Chanel collector and that I was going to be taking good care of her. So she's a super long kind of yellow ivory jacket trimmed with navy boucle 4-pocket design that has a blue button with a little CC. I love this. I loved the peaked lapel. It's been a while since I broke this out, so get ready. You're going to be seeing her soon. And then it's really cool because the bottom is completely open. So since I'm like 5'8", I'm not super tall, so obviously I have to be careful with things just like swallowing me alive. So it's nice that this one, because the shape is super simple and it's open, doesn't really do that. So that's the front, and that is the back. So the next jacket was purchased from the online reseller Linda's Stuff on eBay, which I just talked about. I love them. We have done a good amount of business together by me buying things with them. I saw this. It's definitely different. I think you can actually also wear this as a dress, but I like wearing it as a jacket. So it's super long, and it's a military kind of style jacket. I like wearing this. I like wearing this on a day where I just don't really feel like doing anything. Like, you know, I just want to look like I tried really hard, but I definitely didn't. So that's what this guy is for. It's got a really cool kind of military style with a faux epaulette. And then the buttons are also Cocos, which is really cool. So it's super long. I like wearing it open. I feel like wearing it closed just looks proportionally, looks a little weird on me. Just, it's like an oversized wool cardigan almost. So this is the front and this is the back. So the next piece in my collection is also very important. Excuse me. It is a vintage blazer. This one was purchased from, I believe, Poshmark. 4-pocket design. No buttons in sight, completely open. And then it has buttons on the side, and then it has some buttons on the back. It also features the wheat buttons, which again means that this is a very early piece from Carl working at Chanel. The cool part with this one is the little peplum in the back that has the buttons. And I have my sneaking suspicions about this one because the season tag is gone in the sizing, but I believe that this guy is from Carl's first collection for Chanel. And I say that because one of the jackets you'll see coming up shortly is from his first collection for Chanel. Excuse me, my gosh. Okay, the next one is from Carl's 20th collection for the House of Chanel. This one is very important to me because I received this as a Christmas present last year from my fiance and my best friend. So I saw this online, fell in love with it, said this is literally me in a jacket, I have to have it, but I had already done a lot of shopping and I needed to buy other people things. So my best friend and my fiance got together and bought it for me. and I absolutely love it. It's in a medium blue boucle, and then it's trimmed in a gray and a burgundy grosgrain. And then the buttons, as you can see, gold. They're really cool kind of detail. They almost have kind of like a stained glass quality to them. So this is the front of the jacket, trimmed in chain, of course, and this is the back. This guy, I want to say, is a vintage 44, so I knew it was absolutely going to fit. I love this. I got it for Christmas, and I wore it for Christmas with my fiance and his family last year. So it's a very special piece, and I'm very happy to have it. The next one is probably the most important one in my collection, and this is the one from Carl's first collection for Chanel. So how do I know that? Here's the Chanel boutique tag. Here's the Bergdorf tag where it was originally purchased, and then here is the tag. The first thing on the top says collection, and it says collection 01. So this is from Carl's first collection from Chanel. Prior to Carl being there, the ready-to-wear collection was called Chanel Creations, and Chanel Creations was founded after Coco Chanel passed away. So this is from the Chanel Boutique line, and it has remained Chanel Boutique, and then eventually transitioned to just Chanel when Carl decided to do that. So this is from the first collection. It's a double-breasted design. It has this really high waist in it, so there's just no way that I'm ever going to be double-breasting it, which is fine. It's in a wool boucle, trimmed in grosgrain, features those beautiful wheat buttons, has the little mini pockets up top, which I don't know who would use those, and then also has 2 pockets on the bottom. The shoulder is rounded in this one, and then when you see from the back, you can see that it also has a little peplum created with the buttons, which again is why I have my sneaking suspicions that my burgundy baby is also from the first collection that Carl did, because aesthetically they are the same. So this guy, I have the matching skirt. I love this. I'm so honored to own this as a Chanel collector, and I have the skirt that matches with it. So it is a true suit, and one day she will end up at a museum. And that was purchased at a Second Chance resale in New York City. The next jacket that I have is also vintage, and this is in cashmere. Feels amazing, and it's a double-breasted design. Thank you, COVID. And features just 2 drop pockets on the top. It's in cashmere, and these are the buttons, which are super cool. So it's got a really cool like kind of depth to it, so they almost hollowed out the button in the middle, and then of course it features the 4 buttons on each side, and then this is the back. So this is one I break out in winter, obviously, because it's cashmere, but it's nice if you throw, like I have a little Chanel black cashmere t-shirt I'll throw with it, and just a pair of jeans and pair of boots. It looks really good, and it keeps me nice and warm, which is nice too. And this is a vintage 40. I'm sure if this is available in a vintage 42, I would have nabbed that and it would have fit even better, but I knew it would fit at least open, which is why I bought it, and I bought this from Poshmark, I believe. Next one, which I haven't tried on in 700 years, so let's all keep our fingers crossed and see if she still fits, is another vintage baby. This is from the Autumn-Winter 1990 collection. Ooh, she's a little small, your kids. Take this one in to get it fixed. This guy is from the Fall-Winter collection, 1990. She needs some love. I knew buying this one, it was going to be a project. So I think I may have worn this to work like one time, and that was it. So this is now my personal reminder to myself to get my act together and take it to work, or take it to get it fixed. It has gold camellia buttons, which I absolutely love. The satin trim, and it's a 4-pocket in wool boucle. My last jacket, praise the Lord, we're here, we did it. I'm proud of you. I hope you're proud of me. Is from the 1996 collection. And this was purchased at Luxury Garage Sale in Chicago. Love this guy. Break this out every winter. And the nice thing is that this is so long that I also wear it as a coat. So it is fully double-breasted. It has like 15 buttons on each side. It's absolutely crazy. and it has a 4-pocket design in a classic Chanel wool boucle. So these are the buttons. They are a black with the silver CC. I love this slight little vertical collar. Super simple, super easy, actual functional pockets, which is lovely, and it sits down in the back. And that is it, believe it or not. Holy crap, it took us almost 50 minutes to get there. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your time to write things down. Thank you for your suggestions. I'm always open to suggestions and, of course, constructive criticism. I'm really, really proud of what we've been able to create here, and I take myself out of the equation because obviously I could just be doing this and no one would be watching. So thank you so much for what you're doing. I hope the channel continues to grow. I'm so thankful for your support in order to make that happen, and I hope we continue to have that. Please sound off below which ones are your favorite. I think saying just one is probably a bit obnoxious, so if you have a couple of favorites, list them down below and let me know why you like them. I hope I was able to answer some of your questions when it came to sizing, figuring those things out, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to. Also turn on the bell notification. You'll be notified each time I post something. So thank you so much, guys. I look forward to getting to know more of you in the comment section, hearing from you, and thank you. Have a great day, guys. Bye.